on both of those. Joe?
Yeah, good morning, Mitch. And look, if you read the affidavit that the Justice Department put out, it almost reads like a spy novel. Unfortunately and disturbingly, it is all too real. And what's more remarkable, this wasn't some rogue lone actor. The Justice Department says that this man was plotting to kill Americans here in the U.S. with the blessing of elements of the Iranian government.
An international plot to assassinate American officials on American soil. Former National Security Advisor and UN Ambassador John Bolton, the target of an Iranian murder-for-hire scheme.
I'm not surprised. Look, the Iranian government is untrustworthy, an enemy of the United States. The same people who are saying, oh, yes, of course, we're going to give up our nuclear weapons program are trying to kill Americans on American soil.
Bolton, speaking with NewsNation's Leland Vittert last night, commended the Justice Department for tracking and charging 45-year-old Shahram Poursafi, a member of Iran's Revolutionary Guard Corps, and for doing so publicly. Bolton says it sends a message.
One reason I do think the Justice Department made the correct decision to file this criminal complaint and to unseal it is to say to the Iranians, we know what your game is.
The charging document says in October of 2021, Poursafi, working on behalf of Iran's military, tried to pay an assassin in the U.S. $300,000 to, quote, eliminate Bolton. Retaliation for the U.S. killing of Iranian General Qasem Soleimani back in January of 2020. Poursafi reportedly offered $1 million more for a second target, whom sources tell NewsNation was former Secretary of State Mike Pompeo. The would-be assassin was actually an FBI informant. It was a sophisticated operation. Poursafi somehow was able to track Bolton's movement and had knowledge of Bolton's schedule that wasn't publicly available.
This is an especially appalling example of the government of Iran perpetrating egregious acts of transnational violence.
Bolton and Pompeo, both now under heavy security protection. Poursafi remains at large in Iran.
Now, as was plotting this, the Biden administration still negotiating with Iran on some kind of nuclear deal. And one of the asks from Iran was that they remove the terrorist label from the Iranian Revolutionary Guard Corps. You've got to imagine that after this becomes public, at least that part of the negotiation, if not the entire thing, gets blown up. We're going to have to see what the Biden administration actually says in regards to that. Mitch.
That is Joe Khalil reporting live from Washington.